My name is Kristen Ike. I am the Code Enforcement Special Magistrate for the City of Deltona, and I'm calling the Special Magistrate hearing of March 26, 2025 to order. The first thing on the agenda is the roll call, so I will have all of the code compliance officers introduce themselves.
Officer Gibson, Supervisor, Code Compliance Supervisor.
Danny Rod, Code Compliance Manager.
Sam Schaller, Deputy Fire Marshal.
Lisa Nadeau, Fire Inspector.
Jessica Cotterman, Hearing Clerk.
Hector Centeno, Code Compliance Clerk.
Todd Mead, Code Compliance Supervisor.
Jeff Scott, Code Compliance Officer.
Tina Pagano, Code Compliance Officer. Yvette Lamar, Code Officer. Shandy Gregory, Code Compliance Officer.
Steve Rockoff, Code Compliance Officer.
Thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next on the agenda is my statement about how the hearing is going to proceed this evening. I am going to read this so I don't forget anything. We are here tonight because the City of Deltona has contended that there are violations of the Deltona City Code that exist. This is a public meeting, which means that no general public comment will be accepted, but each of the respondents and the code compliance officers here tonight and any witnesses each of you call will be able to present evidence to me regarding each case and the violations of the Deltona City Code that are being alleged. I am an attorney and appointed by the City Commission to render decisions in these code enforcement cases to determine if a violation of the City Code exists and what fine will be imposed, if any. If you are here for a Massey case, you might see that next to your case number on the agenda. That means that I will be determining solely whether you have come into compliance in a timely manner in accordance with the previous order the special magistrate issued in your case, and will not be reopening the case to determine whether or not a violation existed in the first place. Any decision I make this evening will be put into a written format in the form of an order. A copy of my written order will be provided to the city and then mailed to you as well. It is important to note that for any order I issue, you may appeal by filing a written notice of appeal with the circuit court within 30 days of the execution of my order, pursuant to Florida Statute Section 162.11. The procedure of the hearing today will be governed by Chapter 162 Florida statutes. Formal rules of evidence shall not apply, but fundamental due process shall be observed and shall govern the proceedings. Hearsay is admissible, but only to support other competent and substantial evidence. If you are a respondent, you will be able to testify, tell me what you think I need to know about your case, present evidence and witnesses. Your testimony will be under oath, so I will be swearing you in, and this hearing is being recorded. For each case, I will call the case number and the city will proceed first. The city has the burden of proving that the code violation exists, then you will be allowed to respond. For each case, I intend to admit the case file and the PowerPoint presentation that will be shown, and you should have received a copy of that when you came in this evening. If you did not receive it, please let me know, and I will admit the case file and the PowerPoint unless a specific objection is received. I will take the cases in the order generally that you signed in, first come, first serve, and I do have some cases to announce that have been withdrawn or continued, so I will read those out. The withdrawn cases are DEL 24-096 Massey, 1385 Comerwood Drive, DEL 25-003 1730 Hillendale, DEL 25-028, 2917 Cortland Boulevard, DEL 25-030, 962 North Village Drive, DEL 25-032, 3161 Telford Lane, DEL 25-035, 2893 Monarch Avenue, DEL 25-036, 698 North Apache Circle, and Fire 009-2025, 481 Deltona Boulevard. The continued cases are DEL 25-023, 2101 Kingswood Avenue, and DEL 25-037, 960 Shorecrest Avenue. If you are here for any of those cases that I just read, you do not need to stay. They will not be heard this evening. I will go ahead and swear in everyone who intends to testify today as a group, which includes the code compliance officers. If you intend to speak to me tonight and present testimony, please stand if you're able and raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, please say I do. Thank you. All right. I have no ex parte communications to disclose, so we will go ahead and get started with the cases. First is Fire -010 2025, 1307 East Normandy Boulevard.
Good evening, Your Honor.
Good evening.
For the record, my name is Samuel Schaller. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as the Assistant Fire Marshal. This will be case number Fire 010 2025, City of Deltona versus Pajan Medical Center, LLC. The property address is 1307 East Normandy Boulevard, Deltona, Florida, 32725. Parcel ID is 813-005-460-180. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance, Chapter 42, Article 4, Fire Codes, Chapter 42-186, which adopts the most recent edition of the Florida Fire Prevention Code, as adopted by the State Fire Marshal, which contains the Florida-specific version of NFPA 1 Fire Code, Section 171210, which requires a permit be issued by the authority having jurisdiction prior to any construction work occurring in a building. Corrective action for said violations is to obtain a building permit for the demolition of the interior walls and doors, the opening created between both suites, and the newly constructed wall and door in the rear room of Suite 1. Statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met. The notice of hearing and notice of code violations were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the Special Magistrate Clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day that they were taken. On October 16, 2024, it was found that the above-mentioned work had been conducted inside of this building without a permit. A fire inspection report was sent to the occupant regarding the matter, along with a picture of the floor plan on file for the space, highlighting which walls and doors were removed and which wall was added. On February 3rd, 2025, seeing that no permit had been applied for, a second fire inspection report was sent to the building occupant. Site visit on March 14th, 2025 found the work still in place with no permit applied for. Did receive a call last week from a general contractor named Mr. David. He was requesting information regarding what would be required for permit submittals along the lines of drawings, third product approvals for any work done, et cetera. Detailed information was given, and he let me know that he was working on the permit. As of today's date, the space remains as is with no permit applied for. In closing, the city would like to request 90 days for the property to come into compliance with the remainder of the violations, or a fine of $50 per day until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Thank you. So this is a church?
It is a funeral parlor, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, and there, you have identified is it identified in the inspection notes, the various, you said, walls and doors that were either removed and then changed location?
It should be. I apologize. This was a case I took over Chief Shivers. I can review the inspection notes. Yes, Your Honor, the removal of walls, addition of a new door and wall, as well as the creation of an opening with double doors to connect the spaces.
Okay. And the, I think the only other question I had is the compliance deadline says 2/21/2024. I assume that was a scrivener's error and it should say 2025?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Is the property owner here?
There's a, the building
representative?
occupant, he is here.
Okay. You can come forward and can you state your name and address for the record, please?
Alfred Graham,
And your address?
1307 East Normandy Boulevard.
Okay. And are you the owner or?
Yes, ma'am.
Of the, okay. All right. What would you like to tell me about the case?
Well, for one, I had no intentions of breaking no laws or no codes. I hired a contractor and he got me. So, but my determination is really to get this situated. I think about everybody here I done seen when I came to the office, trying to get everything done. But we got somebody on it. He came yesterday. I did all the measurements with the radar and all that kind of stuff. So we want to get this done quickly as possible.
Okay. All right. And you believe that the 90 days will be sufficient for you to?
Yeah, I talked to Mr. David today. He said that'll be fine.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Is there anything else before I make my ruling?
Ma'am.
All right. I'm going to find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on June 24th, 2025, which is 90 days. In the event respondent does not comply by the state, a fine in the amount of $50 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. Respondent is further ordered to contact the code compliance inspector to verify compliance with this order. I'm going to admit the case file and PowerPoint as exhibits, and I find the notices properly given in this case. Thank you. All right, the next case is DEL 25-038, 1787 Dublin Road. Good evening.
All right, good evening. My name is Todd Mead. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance supervisor. This will be case number DEL 25038. The City of Deltona versus Enriqueta Ventura and Luis Avalo. Property address is 1787 Dublin Road, Deltona, Florida, 32738. The parcel ID number is 813-045-260-220. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 304.1, which states, "The exterior of a structure shall be maintained in good repair, structurally sound, and sanitary, so as not to pose a threat to the public health, safety, or welfare." Corrective action for said violation is to repair, replace, or maintain in good repair any exterior surfaces, roof, or remove tarps. Obtain permits if required. The statutory requirements for this notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violations sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's record. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the Special Magistrate Clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. So this case is, initial officer did the initial investigation. I'm following up, but I have reviewed the notes of his, so I'm presenting it from his notes. On June 17th of 2024, the officer conducted an inspection on the property. A tarp was observed on the roof. The officer set a re-inspection for 60 days. On August 13th of 2024, the inspection was done. There was no indication of repairs having been done to the roof. The officer left a door hanger notice for the homeowner. The resident provided proof pending litigation with the insurance company. Property remained in violation upon a further inspection on October 15th of 2024. The property was not in compliance on the inspection of January 27th of 2025, and a notice of violation was posted. The notice of hearing for the special magistrate case was posted on March 12th of 2025. The city would like to request 60 days for the property to come into compliance, or a fine of $25 per day to be imposed until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Thank you. All right, so now, is this today? Because I don't see a
Down here,
tarp.
So at the peak, look at this. There's sandbags and a tarp running along the top.
Oh, okay, I see,
of the
just
house.
along
That's the whole
the
thing
peak
right
of the roof.
Yes, this is a side view coming up to the house, up the street, and then if you go to the next picture, it should be a front view. So these are sandbags with a tarp running the full length of the top peak of the roof.
Okay, thank you. Is the property owner here?
I believe.
Yes, I'm here.
Good evening. Could you state your name and address for the record?
Yes, my name is Enriqueta Ventura. My address is 1787 Dublin Road in Deltona.
Okay, what would you like to tell me about the case?
Well, we're just waiting for the permits from the county to replace our roof.
Okay.
At this moment, we signed in March 1st with a roof company to start the process. Still waiting for the permits.
Okay, are you aware, Mr. Mead, if there's a
I
permit
don't see
submitted?
any notice of any pending review of a permit as yet in the city office, so I'll have to,
It is, the city does have the permit application.
yes, okay.
Okay, all right. All right, and so do you believe 60 days to be sufficient to get the roof repaired?
I believe so.
Okay.
I don't know how long it's going to take to get the permit.
Okay. I would assume that would be fairly quick. I don't know if the city can comment on that. Mr. Ron?
I'm actually looking at records, I don't see a permit for the re-roof yet.
No, I didn't see one that
No.
was applied.
Oh, I'm sorry, you said you did not see
Nothing
it?
that I didn't see anything applied for or submitted from a contractor or the homeowner. And-
You did not?
No.
So ma'am, the contractor has not applied for a permit yet for the
With
re-roof.
the city, with the city.
Yeah, so I don't know if there's some confusion there because you mentioned the county, but the permit application would have to be submitted to the city.
I'm sorry, I refer to the city.
Okay.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
And when I spoke to the salesperson that we signed the contract, he told me that they were already submitted the permit, and they were waiting for
Okay.
the answer.
Well,
I do have a contract here signed with the company.
okay, and that's good. I think that you'll probably need to follow up with them because according to the city, they don't have a permit application in the system. So I'm sure you would want to follow up with them.
I will.
For the city, I might suggest we do a little longer than 60 days, just in case, because of this issue. Let me see my calendar. So 60 days would be May 26th. I'm going to suggest June 13th. Would the city be amenable to that?
We have no problem with that.
All right. Anything else before I make my ruling? All right.
That's it.
Thank you. All right, I find respondent in this case violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on June 13th, 2025. In the event respondent does not comply by this date, a fine in the amount of $25 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. Respondent is further ordered to contact the code compliance inspector to verify compliance with this order. I'm going to admit the case file in PowerPoint as exhibits, and I find the notices properly given in this case. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the next case is DEL 23-242, Massey, 3775 Trade Street.
Good evening, Your Honor.
Good evening.
My name is Sashan Gregory. I am employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be Massey case number DEL 23-242. The City of Deltona versus Marisol Rodriguez, Carl Joseph Jr. Risner, and Yvette Risner. The property address is 3775 Trade Street. The parcel ID number is 813-0623-70030. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and the notice of code violation sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All the evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. It was ruled on August 23rd, 2023, that the property owner was given 60 days to comply. The owner did not come into compliance within those 60 days and has been receiving a fine of $25 a day since October 22nd of 2023. As of today, the property has accrued a total fine of $13,025 over 521 days. The city is requesting that the fines continue at $25 per day.
All right, thank you. So it's been a bit since we had this hearing, so can you please remind me, is this the way that the property looked in 2023? Do you have the photos from the violation?
Yeah, so this photo that you see now, that is the one from 2023.
Okay.
And could you go to the other one, please? And that's what it is as of today. That's what it looks like.
Okay, can you toggle back and forth one more time? All right. And then today? So there's actually less siding on the building than there was originally?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is the property owner present? Would you like to come forward? Good evening. Could you state your name and address for the record?
Carl Reisner. My address is 596 Mountain Way Avenue, Deltona, Florida.
Okay.
That's where I live.
I'm sorry?
That's where I live, my address.
But you own the property, correct?
Yes,
Yes.
me and Minnesota.
Okay. What would you like to tell me about the case?
Well, the first time this happened in Hurricane Ian, we submitted the paperwork to the insurance company with the siding coming off the house to get it fixed. And we waited for a while. And then we find out that the insurance company went bankruptcy. So we had this lawyer in the case. And after time went by, nothing was happening. We got new insurance on the house. And now the last hurricane that we got last year did more damage with the siding. And we're still waiting on the money for the insurance company. So now we got a new lawyer on the case. And they just haven't have a date to cut the check yet. But that's what we're waiting on. It's actually siding and on the side there and in the back. The back of the house too has siding missing. You just don't have those pictures.
All right. Well, this is a Massey hearing, so all I'm determining is whether you came into compliance within the time period that I ordered, and that deadline was October 22nd of 2023. So we're obviously well beyond that. So I'm going to find that you haven't come into compliance. It sounds like there have been obviously you've had some issues with your insurance company. You might, I suggest you might want to speak with Mr. Ron. I think he stepped out for the moment, but there's a possibility of requesting a lien reduction once you do come into compliance, but that's only after you actually have fixed the home. All right. Is there anything else before I make my ruling?
They told me they wanted proof, so I had that. Do you guys
Proof of what exactly?
Of what's happening with this case? With the lawyer and the new insurance company? They want to know the new insurance company. I have all that here.
Yeah, I don't think I need to see that. I understand, your testimony, but again, all I'm determining at this point is whether you did come into compliance within the time that I ordered, and which it's apparent that you didn't. So that's really all I need to know at this point.
All right.
All right, thank you. I'm going to find respondent in this case failed to correct the violation by the time specified in the special magistrate's prior order in this case, and the fine will be imposed as set forth in that order, and will continue to run until the property is brought into compliance and an affidavit of compliance has been filed by the code compliance inspector. Respondent shall notify the code compliance inspector to verify compliance. I'm admitting the case file and the PowerPoint as exhibits, and I find the notices properly given in this case. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, everyone that's left.
That's for this case, the dangerous dog.
Okay. All right. So I understand everyone that's here is for the dangerous dog case? Yes? All right. So we will go ahead and do that one. So that is DEL, for the record, DEL 25-039 for a dangerous dog at 1753 Mayhill Street. Good evening.
Hello. My name is Yvette Lamar. I'm employed for the City of Deltona as an animal control officer. This is the case number DEL 25039. the City of Deltona versus Liz Johanna Colon Cruz and Elliot Omar Paez Cadon. The property address is 1753 Mayhill Street, Deltona, Florida, 32738. The parcel ID number is 813-043-130130. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance, Section 14-1. Dangerous dog means a dog that, according to the order of the appropriate authority, has killed a domestic animal or more than once severely injured a domestic animal while off owner's property, has aggressively bitten, attacked, or endangered, or has inflicted severe injury on a human being on public or private property. On Monday, February 17th, 2025, approximately 11 a.m., I responded to a call from Central for 1761 Mayhill Street for a dog-on-dog attack. Upon arriving at the address, I walked up to the door where I was greeted by a deputy, Brenda, and her grandson. Brenda explained that she let her dogs out to use the bathroom and didn't see the other two dogs in her yard. The dogs entered her yard under the broken fence from 1751 Mayhill, where they live. She stated the dogs attacked her dog Snoopy. The two dogs were tugging on him back and forth. She showed me the location of the dogs in her yard and of her dog laying lifeless on the ground. When I saw the size of the dogs, I called for assistance from other officers. When Officer 809 arrived, we went into the backyard to catch the dogs. When we stepped out into the yard, the dogs aggressively charged at us. Officer 809 was able to get the male dog Super on the catch pole. The female Spooky tried to go after Officer 809. I stepped in front of him with the catch pole and she ran off towards the backyard. I ran back towards her to remove her from the yard, and she ran back towards the shed. She ran past me and back to the corner of the yard. She kept growling and snapping at me, showing all her teeth in an aggressive manner. I was able to get her head on the catch pole. Officer 809 and I walked the animals out to the animal control truck. The dogs were fighting against us as we were walking to the truck. Due to the size of the dog and how they were behaving, Officer 809 called for additional assistance. Officer 818 arrived on scene a short time later and helped us get the dog safely into the boxes on the back of my truck. Officer 818 and 805 tried to make contact with the owner at 1753 Mayhill, but no one answered the door. A door hanger was left to notify the owner of what took place that day. I transported the dogs to Halifax Humane Society, where they are currently being held. When I arrived at Halifax, they were still being aggressive, and I had to remove them with a catch pole. I do have witnesses to present the state of the details of what was observed that morning on the 17th, and I am requesting that all the requirements be met as stated in Section 14-166 for dangerous dog.
Okay. So can you explain what provision of the ordinance that you're referring to that you believe requires me to find that the dog is dangerous?
So per the statute, it has killed a domestic animal or more than once severely injured a domestic animal, but it killed one domestic animal on its property.
All right, so the other dog that was attacked was killed?
Correct.
Give me just a moment. right, the section All right, the definition of dangerous dog in the Deltona City Ordinance is in which section?
Section 14-1 is where the definition is, and then 14-166 is a classification. And it's letter B.
All right. The City of Deltona ordinance has a different definition than state statute with regard to dangerous dogs. I'm looking at the fact that the Florida statute says a dangerous dog has more than once severely injured or killed a domestic animal. The dangerous dog section of the Deltona City Ordinance says has killed a domestic animal or more than once severely injured a domestic animal. So I think there is a difference there.
There is. That's why we go by the city ordinance, because it says or, not and.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay. Understood. Okay, I will hear from the dog owner, or actually, I'm sorry, did you want to present any witnesses first before we move on? Okay.
We
go
have
ahead.
the witnesses.
All right.
Ms. Brenda?
Good evening. Could you state your name and address for the record?
Brenda Rindage, 1761 Mayhill Street, Deltona.
Okay. What would you like to tell me? Are you the owner of the dog that passed?
Yes.
I'm sorry. What would you like to tell me about the incident?
When I got home, I let my dogs in the backyard to use the bathroom, whatever they got to do. Most of them had stayed up by the front door. And I had called them to come in, and as I did, I let them in, and I had noticed that there was a dog missing. And when I looked up, I saw one of the pit bulls. I didn't see the other one. And then I had saw my dog laying behind the trampoline, lifeless. And then the other pit bull went to pick up my dog and maul him more. And I then yelled, "Put him down," which he did. And then they run freely in the whole front, in the backyard. But this isn't the first time that I've had problems with his dogs. I got tore up by two other ones that he has on my leg that came into my yard. And I feel that this should not have even came to this point, to killing my dog. The dogs he shouldn't have. He can't take care of them. Come on.
And so when you Let me just ask a question. Are you asking me to find more than one dog
We took
dangerous?
custody of 2 dogs that day that are at Halifax.
You have 2 dogs. So you're asking me to find both of them dangerous?
Those are the dogs that were in the backyard that were fighting over her dog.
Okay. So the answer to my question is yes, you're asking me to find 2 dogs.
It's Super and Spooky.
Okay. But only one of them killed the dog. Correct?
No, ma'am. She told us that they were tugging back and forth
Both.
over the dog.
Yes.
So
Both
if 2
dogs
dogs
were.
are fighting over one dog, how can you that one dog killed it and not both?
Well, but I thought your testimony was that you didn't see what happened initially, and then another dog came over and picked it up.
And tried to drag it to go into their backyard. And I
Right.
then yelled to say, put him down, and they put the dog down.
Okay.
They were both black, so it's hard to tell which one did the damage. They were both in the backyard before I got home and before I let my dogs out.
Okay. Did you see that when the second dog, I guess, came over and picked up your dog? When that occurred, was your dog still alive at that point? Do you believe?
I don't know. I could not go out there to help my dog because of what had happened in 23.
Did you hear the incident? Or okay, so you didn't really see what happened?
No. But I did see them grab my dog, mauling him and dragging him.
But your dog wasn't moving or anything at that point?
No.
Okay. All right. Do you have any other witnesses you'd like to bring forward?
It was only her and her grandson at the home.
My grandson had just left. He had a football game, a baseball game. He saw it. And then, like I said, with the other dogs, I know this is different, but my whole family witnessed the other 2 dogs attacking me, mauling me, jumped up on the trampoline, fearing my life.
This was at another time?
Yeah. Same owner, 2 different dogs. And then got a hold of a child down the road.
Okay. Well, I don't have any evidence presented about that. All right. So, all right. Is there anything else you'd like to say before I hear from the other owners? No? Okay. All right. I'll hear from them now. Thank you, ma'am. Come on up. All right. Are the 2 owners, and can you remind me of the name? There's
Elliot Omar.
The dog names?
Oh, Super and Spooky.
Super and Spooky. All right, good evening. What would you like to tell me about the matter?
Well, miss, okay, I know that happened, I was at work. I talked to her a couple of weeks before I started working because I was out of work. And I talked to her and I told her, mira, I'm going to start working just because she have a little door in the backside of her house and the dogs all the time are free, and they are digging under my fence. Mira, I have the wood fence. There was the wood fence. I have a metal fence, plus I have an electrical fence that I'm trying to do what I can to keep my dogs out of there. But their dogs, they keep digging under my fence. Several pictures right here, they are there, that you can see. You see my fence? They tore off the electrical fence, and they tore off from their side all the fence and dug underneath my fence. That's why my dogs went in there. You know, I'm not trying to excuse what my dog did, you know, because it happened, and I had no control of that because I was at work. You know, and I talked to her, I told her, hey, I'm gonna start working, just keep your dogs inside in case something happens. I'm gonna leave 2 dogs that I never had any problem with. Those 2 dogs, Pookie and Super, never had any problem. They play with the neighbors inside. They always, I put them, sometimes I open the garage and they stay in the front. They play with the kids. They're playing basketball in there in front of my house and all that. And I've been telling her, hey, can you know, just keep an eye until I come from work or whatever, you know, so nothing happened. She said, yeah. That day, they jumped from inside my house. They, like several times, 3-4 times, and they dug underneath. They were inside my house, but I never leave my dogs like outside. I always keep them, you know, with me, so we keep them, you know. And she got lucky that day because all those 3 times that they were inside my house, that I had no dogs outside, you know, but they were inside my house, inside my yard. You know, several times they got loose. I got videos here. They got loose. They were behind the AT&T man. And in the neighbor in front, I couldn't get them because they are in the hospital. The other old man have some problem. And they were all the way barking at them inside their house, inside their garages. You know, that those little dogs, the other neighbor, he had to keep his dogs already inside his house because every time they come out, these other little dogs, they start barking. There is no more peace in there. Now, every time you get out of the house, they are barking the heck in the garage, right? I'm trying to wash my car. They are barking. I mean, I got to keep my dogs inside now. I cannot keep my dog. I got a big jar. I bought the house because I got a big jar for my dogs. You know, I put the fence, I put the metal fence, and electrical fence that I spent over $1,000 trying to get everything set up. But they don't. They are the ones that they don't keep the dogs on place. You know, okay, I'm trying to do my best, like I said. You know, and I 3 fences. And still talking to her, I told her, hey, I'm gonna leave these 2 dogs here. I'm gonna start working next week or so, and. You know, so we pay attention to it, but she have a little dog, and the dog come out all the time. You know, and there is no way that she said, I just keep him. And she said a couple of times that she just said, what she just said right now? They got it a couple of times in problem.
Oh, that she got it 2 times, he said? Or
you
like
got a hold on a little kid. That's not true. That's not true. The other one beat you. I know.
All right, you can speak to me. Speak to me.
Okay, you know,
Yeah.
maybe she had another incident with another of my dogs, you know, because I have a couple dogs, you know. I start with one, I got Daddy, then I tried to get Mama to get one, then my kid like my wife like the another one. That's how I end up with 5 dogs. You know, not because I want to have them, because now I don't have any life. I got to do my schedule around my dogs. You know, and I'm trying to, you know, keep up. I'm working from 5 o'clock in the morning all the way to 7, sometimes at 8 at night. You know, that I'm trying to keep them inside or sometimes outside, the one that don't have any problem with anybody because they play with everybody. You know, there is no aggressive dog like they say. Spooky and Super. Super is a little. I can tell you, Super is a little because they don't know people outside the house. You know, they just know the people inside the house. You know, I don't have a lot of time to walk him and do all the stuff that we're supposed to do with the dogs, you know, but I'm trying to keep them safe. And in my area, like I said, I already had 3 fences. When that happened, they broke my fence and they tripped the electrical fence. That's how my dogs. And you can see picture, even the other guy, one of the guys that was law enforcement guy, even I got you inside the house and I showed you my fence. He says they were digging from that side. He says so, right? He said it. You know, he said that they were digging, it looks like they were digging from that side. That's why, but my dog got in that side and did what they did, whatever, you know, and
I didn't hear your response to his question.
That was a different officer. That's layer officer 8:06, so he's not here today.
Even him, he was
Right,
there.
but-
She was there. Then two was there, and they listened to that guy. They heard the guy. Yeah, he was.
You
They
can
were
see-
digging under the fence from that side.
You can see both sides of the fence, but you can see where the metal fence is pushed under going towards their house too. So-
There is another hole. You see that hole right there? That's from that side. This is the side of my fence with the metal fence with the put the other one, the one just right there. That one. See? The wood fence, metal fence, and electrical fence. This one, the one in the bottom. That is
I can't speak for nobody
that's
else.
electrical fence. That I had it up. But now it's tore up because they tore it up, and that's how my dogs had the opportunity to get in because they didn't have any.
We even had beware of dog sign fence.
Beware of dog sign, and even
It's torn off.
they took them off.
I can't hear when there's multiple people, so and I don't think I got your name,
I'm
sir.
his son.
Yeah, I'm his son, my
Elliot
son.
Paez
I'm
Jr.
sorry?
I think we got neither one of them.
Okay. I think we know, okay, can you state your names for the record? I'm not sure if you said it at the beginning.
Elliot Paez, 1753 Mel History, Deltona. He's my son.
Elliot Paez Jr.
Okay,
So-
and so can you go back, because I couldn't hear you both at the same time.
Next to their house, the division between our house and their house, we used to have a sign saying beware of dogs that after they moved in, it eventually got torn off. They tore it off because that shit was
So many times.
it was nailed on there to the fence, and one day we get home, it's not there no more. The sign doesn't just get blown off; it's nailed onto the fence.
Several times too. We was trying. I'm trying to get to my
Yeah, we
car,
have
and she had
signs.
the sprinkler just right into all the way, maybe 5 feet from my property line. Right? I have maybe 10 feet. Then I have maybe 5 more feet in my concrete, my driveway, and all that water coming to her, and I'm telling her, hey, can you put that up? Oh, then she's telling him, oh, take a bite and die. I said, come on, I don't need this. I just want you to put the water all the way to where you're supposed to. More than 6, 7 times, and she always was really nasty with me. I always trying to do the same, to be the nice guy, you know. When she had beat the first time with the dog, I told her, okay, mira, whatever, all the expenses that you have, hospital, chores, whatever, just tell me. I pay for it because I'm responsible for my dogs. Now, 2 weeks later, she's suing me.
Ma'am, I'm going to have you be quiet while I'm listening to
you
him.
see?
I will give you another chance to come up. Okay, thank you.
See, and there's a lot of time that she was really, I'm always been trying to be a nice guy to help. They can go around my neighborhood in front of my guy because they don't get along with anybody there. These other two neighbors, they don't get along with nobody there, and there is 5
All right.
more of them.
Well,
you know.
let's focus on what happened with the dogs. So, all right. I think I would like to hear from the city, though, about the issue
They're
of
friends too.
the
They're
fence and how the dogs got into the yard. Do you have any?
You can see that they went under the fence. I mean, when I got there, they were already in the yard. So I can't physically see how, you can just see that they dug a hole under the fence. So they went directly under, in that area under the fence.
But you have no opinion about whether
They had
which dogs dug the hole, is what you're telling me.
If I wasn't there to physically see them dig a hole.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
The only thing I is that they were off property on someone else's property when they attacked.
So many times that we tried to contact them, I had left 6, 7 messages. I had left all kind of stuff. Now the same day that it was going to be the appeal, she brought that letters to me around maybe 2, 3 o'clock in the evening for the same day to finish to doing the appeal because at 5 o'clock it was going to be canceled. The same day I had to send.
And you have an email the day before that I sent you.
I didn't receive it. Mira, I swear to God, I didn't receive it. If I would have received it, I would have done it.
Yeah,
but I received it the same day that it was going to be due. And
You didn't receive what?
The same day that I received it, I emailed it directly to you.
He's saying the
For the
letter
appeal.
for this hearing.
For this
Oh, hearing.
Yeah, we had to fill it out on that specific day before that day ended, and we got it just one day.
The same day.
The same day that we got it, we filled it out because that was the last day.
I was trying to contact her several times.
But it was filled out, and you have.
Yeah, but we had to. I got home around 5 o'clock in the evening, and I had to do all this at 5 o'clock because I didn't receive the papers a couple of days before or something to give me enough time to do this. You know, and I had to send four fax, bosses and bosses and bosses and bosses, in order for me to have this. There is no way to contact them. There is no way to get any response from them at all.
Well, I don't think the city is challenging the timeliness of your appeal, correct?
I was trying to see how my dogs are doing, where they are, where the team. But there's no answer.
Mm-hmm. But I asked the question of the city. You're not challenging the timeliness of his appeal, correct?
No.
Okay. All right. I would like to, is there anything else, sir, before?
I'd like to comment on the fence right here.
Yes.
Like, as you can see, this is the neighbors, their side of the fence, and it's all clean dirt that's obviously been dug out. There's no grass there. And then when you look on our side of the fence, when you see the other picture, there's grass. That if you dig the dirt, there will be dirt, not grass. And on the other photo, there's a lot of dirt on their side of the fence.
That's where the wood stump was, and we moved the stump to take the picture.
That's why they do it.
It looks like a stump.
Because it was, the stump was against the fence, and we pulled it back just to take the picture. So that's why it's circular.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, they keep burning back there.
All right. I would like to ask a couple additional questions of the dog owner that was killed. Can you come forward, please? Okay, what was the name of your dog? I'm sorry?
Snoopy.
Snoopy. So you said you came home, I think, from work, correct, and let the dogs out?
Yes.
And Snoopy was in your home before?
Yes, all my dogs were in my home.
They were in your home, and then you let
Snoopy out. I do have a doggy door, and I have that locked. And then
the dog door?
Yes, and then when I get home, I let them out to use the bathroom.
Okay, so that day, that dog door was locked,
Yes.
and you physically saw Snoopy before you let him, I assume, out into the yard?
Correct.
And then you were doing something in the house and came back out?
Yes, to let the dogs back in and notice that, because I said to my grandson, I said, I'm missing a dog. And he said, it's Snoopy, Snoopy's missing. And when I looked out, that's when I saw the one pit bull, and then I saw Snoopy.
Okay, and at that point then, when you said you saw the one pit bull, that was when one of them came over and picked up Snoopy?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else before I make my ruling from the city? All right.
When he was talking about the dirt being there, there's dirt all the way down on my side of the fence. I don't have no grass on that whole side. So it's not just that area. We put that log there to block the hole. And his chicken wire, whatever that is not down far enough. And it's still not down far enough where his dogs are still in the backyard free and can get right back through there. He's got a board up there. It's not screwed in. It's just sitting there. It's not even down far enough.
You're saying there at not this location, somewhere else on the fence, there's
that
just...
location right there.
Oh, okay. You're saying there was just a board there?
Yeah. Now there is. He put a board there. And he does have an electric wire, which isn't even working. If it was working, the dogs would have gotten electrocuted. Correct? My little dogs don't even go in your yard.
All right, let's keep the comments towards...
My dogs do not go in his yard. My dogs do not have never, ever went in anybody's yard all the way around. Your dogs have came in my yard twice, attacked me, and then killed my dog the second time. How many more times and he breeds them one after another. and he was supposed to get them fixed. Has he done that? No. I have an attorney. My attorney won't even represent me because he don't have homeowners insurance.
He didn't have power for about 3 months, and
I'm sorry, wait a minute. If you're going to speak, can you please state your name and address?
Okay, Sandy Rindich, 1761 Mayo Street.
Okay, you live at the home?
Yes, I'm her daughter.
Okay.
There was a time period for about 3 months when he didn't have any power to his house. His wife moved out, his daughter moved out, and it's only him and his son at the house as of now. So in that time period of the 3 months, his electrical fence wire, chicken wire, obviously didn't work. So therefore, how do I know for sure that it's working? How do I know?
It's not working.
I don't think it's working because I myself has went out there, touched the fence, and nothing has happened.
Okay. Thank you. All right, I'm ready to make my ruling. Is there anything else, though, that the city would like to add? All right. I am going to find that the dog was dangerous, both dogs, excuse me, are dangerous dogs. The reason is that the Deltona City Ordinance defines a dangerous dog as being one that has killed a domestic animal. And the testimony here was that Snoopy was alive when the homeowner let Snoopy out into the yard, came out and saw the 2 pit bulls in the yard and picking up the dog. And the dog was killed during that attack. There's been, I think, debate about how they got into the yard, but I do think that that's really not relevant under the statute. Understand that the statute requires me to find a dog dangerous if they have killed a domestic animal while off of the owner's property, regardless of how they got there. And so I understand that the owners of, Super and Spooky may have been doing their best with the fencing to try and keep them out, but under the statute, that is just not something that I think I need to take into account. Once another dog is killed, that's what I have to find. So, given that, I will prepare an order to that effect. There is a number of conditions now that will apply to the dogs now that they've been declared dangerous, and I would suggest that you contact the animal control officer to go over all of those conditions to have the dogs here in the city of Deltona. All right. Anything else on that matter? I don't think so.
No.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
They're going to be declared dangerous.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, sir. You may ask a question.
Yes, they're going to be declared dangerous, as I say. They are already
Yes,
declared dangerous.
I've declared them dangerous.
Well, I'm going to give them to them then. They can keep them. Because I'm not going to have the dog dangerous in my house with all the conditions that you guys have. I'm not a rich guy. I don't have all the money that you guys require to have that. So you guys can keep it and kill them.
I understand that you can work that out with the animal control officer. Thank you. All right. Moving on. Oh, sorry. I can give it to you. Thank you. All right, this is case DEL 25-027, 2435 Academy Avenue.
Good evening. My name is Steve Brockhoff. I'm employed with the City of Deltona as Code Compliance Officer. This will be case number DEL 25-2027, City of Deltona versus Karen Plaklicki? Sorry, I butchered that name. The property address is 2435 Academy Avenue, Deltona, Florida, 32738. Our parcel ID is 813032150060. City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 302.7, which states that all accessory structures, including detached garages, in this case fences and walls, shall be maintained and kept in good repair and sound structural condition. Statutory requirements for this notification of hearing have been met by notice of hearing and notice of violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed at property appraiser's records. Both notices were posted at the property and at the City Hall at least 10 days before this hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the Code Board clerk, and I certify that all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. This case began on January 27th. I had noticed the fence in disrepair from the street behind this property. And there had been cases similar to this at this property before, so I prepared a notice of violation and met a gentleman that was out front, and I explained the violation on January 27th. I also requested that notice be sent certified mail. The notices generate a 10-day compliance date. And later on in February, on the 25th, I went back to the property well after their compliance date, and the property was still in violation. So then I requested a notice of hearing for this proceedings. To date, the property is still in non-compliance, as even the attempted vinyl fence that had been up at one time has been removed, and there's just pieces of, further down you'll see there, right there, that's today. The city would like to give 60 days for this to come into compliance, and failing to do that, we request $50 per day for a fine.
Okay, can you just, I'm sorry, can you explain in the pictures, it's like there's some that's maybe wood fence, and then there's vinyl, and then are they the same fence, or?
Yeah, this is a vinyl fencing that's basically leaning up against things. This is deteriorated wooden fence. That's deteriorated wooden fence. And it's been in various stages of either trying to be covered up or removed. There's actually two pictures from today. This will be on the left side. You can see all this is collapsed and dilapidated fencing.
So like, is this picture number two that we're looking at, that's on one side of the house, and then the other picture you showed me is on the other side?
Yeah, the house in question is this house.
Oh, see, this is from the other side of the...
Yeah, the easiest way of seeing the violation is because the front fence is secured. The only way of seeing the violation, the way I noticed it, was on the property or on the street behind this property. So
I see.
Yeah, this house belongs to the street behind them.
Okay, it's just a different vantage point.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, and you said 60 days, correct?
Yes.
All right.
And we request $50 per day because of the obvious condition of the fence. And there is currently over a $50,000 fine on the debris behind the fence. And the city just really needs this property to come into compliance so that this can be secure.
So there's an additional violation that where the lien is running?
It was seen in a previous code case. I think it's been over a year, but there's $50,000 on the, or over $50,000 on just the debris. But the fence, there wasn't a case on that, and the city really needs this property to come into compliance.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on May 26th, which is 60 days, May 26, 2025. In the event respondent does not comply by this date, a fine in the amount of $50 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. Respondent is further ordered to contact the code compliance inspector to verify compliance with this order. I'm admitting the case file and the PowerPoint as exhibits, and I find the notices properly given in this case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. The next case is DEL 25-029, 1250 Fieldstone Avenue.
Good evening, Your Honor.
Good evening.
My name is Tina Pagan. I'm employed with the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 25-029, the City of Deltona versus Eric Lafreniere. The property address is 1250 Fieldstone Avenue, Deltona, Florida 32725. The parcel ID number is 813-0551-40080. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance, Section 18-5, adapting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 30413, which states that every window, skylight, door, and frame shall be kept in sound condition, good repair, and weather-tight. Corrective action for said violation is to repair or replace damaged, missing windows, doors, and remove boards. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. On January 30th, I visited the property and noted that several windows and doors were broken and ajar. Furthermore, there was debris from various miscellaneous items scattered throughout the site, indicating that the property has likely been vacant for an extended period. On the same day, I sent a notice of violation through certified mail regarding the windows and doors. Additionally, I issued a 24-hour abatement order to secure the property by boarding up the broken and unsecured doors and windows. Certified notifications were sent to the address recorded in the property appraiser's records. On February 12th, I returned to the property and observed that several windows and doors had been boarded up. I captured photographs of the site, which have been submitted as part of this case. On March 5th, I conducted another inspection of the property and confirmed that the doors and windows remain boarded. On that same day, I posted a notice of hearing and a notice of violation. Photographs were taken. On March 15, I inspected the property again and found that it still remained in violation. I took additional photographs which have been submitted to this case. During my most recent visit today, the property continues to be in violation. The city would like to request 30 days for the property to come into compliance or a fine of $25 per day to be imposed until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Okay, Just a question, I wasn't quite sure I understood. Did you say that the city abated this by putting some boards up?
Yes, we did an abatement due to the windows being open and the door being ajar to prevent intruders from entering.
And then did the owner put additional boards up?
No.
Okay, it was just the city that did that put the boards.
Correct.
Okay, but your testimony is those windows were broken before you?
Correct. One of the windows were broken, another window was fully wide open, not sure if it was broken as well. And the doors were both, one of the doors were broken with the window, it had like a open windows part, which actually anyone could go in through. So we boarded that door. And the other main door, that front door where the postings are at, that door was ajar, that anyone could enter the property.
Okay. And in terms of time for compliance, in order to, this will require obtaining a permit for the windows, correct?
Depending if the frame is completely broken, if they're going to reconstruct the frame, yes. But if they're not, they're just going to replace the actual windows with those frames that are already there, then no.
Okay. I'm just concerned about timing because 30 days, if they're going to have to, replace that, I think 30 days might not be sufficient.
60?
I think 60 days would be more reasonable.
That's fine.
Is this, okay, all right. All right. Anything else before I make the ruling?
No.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on May 26, 2025, which is 60 days. In the event respondent does not comply by this date, a fine in the amount of $25 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. Respondent is further ordered to contact the code compliance inspector to verify compliance with this order. I'm admitting the case file and PowerPoint as exhibits, and I find the notices properly given in this case.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the next is DEL 25-031, 1800 Saxon Boulevard.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, my name is Jeff Scott. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as Code Compliance Officer. This will be case DEL 25031, City of Deltona versus New View RIA INC FBO Doris Jeske RIA. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18.5, adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 304.1, which states, the exterior of a structure shall be maintained in good repair, structurally sound, and sanitary as to not pose a threat to the public health, safety, or welfare. Corrective action for said violation is to repair the soffit near the garage area. Statutory requirement for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's record. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. This proactive case was started on December 1st, 2024, while addressing debris in the right-of-way at this property. I noticed the soffit in disrepair near the garage area. Notice of violation was issued on February 4th, 2025. Notice of hearing was posted on March 12th, 2025. As of today, the soffit remains in violation. The city would like to request 30 days for the property to come into compliance or a fine of $25 per day for this violation to be imposed until such time that the property owner notifies the city of compliance.
All right, thank you. And just to confirm, the issue is the soffits, but I also see in the corrective action that, is it talking about the soffits when you say near the front door and garage area? Or
Yes,
is there
ma'am.
something,
It
you're
just-
not talking about the walls of the exterior
No,
walls?
just given a general area where it's located.
Okay, you were just talking about the soffits.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right. I'm going to, sorry, anything else before I make my ruling?
No,
All
ma'am,
right.
that's it.
I'm going to find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on April 25th, 2025, which is 30 days. In the event respondent does not comply by the state, a fine in the amount of $25 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. The respondent is further ordered to contact the code compliance inspector to verify compliance with this order. I'm admitting the case file and PowerPoint as exhibits, and I find the notices properly given in this case. Thank you. The next is DEL 25-033, A, B, and C, 1092 Deltona Boulevard.
Hi, my name is Jeff Scott. I am employed by the city of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 25033A, DEL 25033B, and DEL 033C. The City of Deltona versus Global Commercial Properties, LLC. The property address is 1092 Deltona Boulevard, Deltona, Florida 32725. The parcel ID is 8130101000300. This property is being brought before the special magistrate for more than one violation for no permits. I'm gonna read the ordinance, but it's for 3 violations. Is that okay?
Yes,
Okay.
that's fine. Thank you.
This is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18.3, adopting the latest edition of the Florida Building Code Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, move, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building or structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, the installation of which is regulated by this code, or to cause any such work to be done, shall first make application to the building official and obtain the required permit. Corrective action for said violation, which is violation A, is to obtain a permit for the AC changeout. Violation B is to obtain a permit for replacing the rear sliding door. Violation C is to obtain permit for the electric wiring. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner listed with the property appraiser's record. In addition, both notices were posted on the property at least and in at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. These cases were originally opened by another officer on May 6, 2024 for multiple violations. On that day, the officer issued notice of violations for the new AC unit, which is violation A. The rear sliding glass door were replaced, which is violation B, and the electric wiring near the power meter is violation C. Also on that date, the officer called and emailed the owner to inform them of the permits that's needed. The owner applied online for a permit on August 20th, 2024. The officer was in contact with the owner back in December 2024, but as of today, the permit has not been obtained for the 3 violations. The city would like to request 30 days for the property to come into compliance or a fine of $25 per day for each violation to be imposed until such a time that the property owner notify the city of compliance.
All right, so you said they applied in August of 2024?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is the application not complete?
No, it's still just, I'm guessing that they haven't submitted enough information to even get reviewed, from my understanding.
Okay. And so can you explain, so this is you're determining that are you determining that the AC unit is new because of the sticker there that you're showing me?
Yes, from my understanding, there's a photo in the exhibits that's showing the old unit,
okay.
and it's a lot smaller than this one.
All right, I just didn't, maybe.
It's the top, first 3. Go back, down. Keep going. Oh, right there. It's kind of got a shadow, but if you look,
This is the photo?
Yes, ma'am. Down is.
Okay.
Is there a cursor thing here?
That's very dark.
Yeah, right around there. There's a smaller unit there. And that was taken in 2019 from a previous case. Right? Yeah.
All right. All right, and then can you explain okay, so, and then I guess a similar question for the door. Are you showing me in one of the pictures here that there was just a regular door and then it was changed out for a sliding door?
No, the sliding door was replaced and including the frames.
It was just replaced?
Yes, ma'am.
And how do you know that it was replaced?
The officer that started the case can better explain that.
Okay.
All right.
Right, Todd Mead, Code Compliance Supervisor.
Yes.
I originally had a case with the roof on this house, and then the owner talking that after I started the case on the roof, had seen the other things going on at the house, talked to the owner. He was aware that he had changed those things, and he was advised to get the permit. He did start the initial process with the permit, but I think his contractor was not registered with the city, and I'd given him some time, and he had acknowledged all those things that I mentioned: the door, sliding glass door, the AC, and the electrical. The electrical I showed to our building manager.
Okay.
And he saw that. So the owner was willing to work. It's just that he's taken a long time because his contractor was not with the city. So the case was sitting there waiting to be addressed, just trying to encourage him to get that permit quicker.
Okay. Now, and then can you explain what I'm looking at with the electrical?
This is a newer pipe that was put to the back of the house. The original electric comes from the back power pole from the back easement to the house. And when I showed it to the building official, he noticed that all that new piping would indicate that there was newer work, not being able to see inside the house, the new panel box, but the suggestion is that whole new panel box was put into the house. The owner was brought to his attention the same. Any electrical work that was done would need to require a new permit.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, anything else before I make the ruling?
No, ma'am.
All right. I'm going to find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violations before. I'm sorry, did you recommend 30 days or 60?
30.
30? Okay. By April 25th, 2025, which is 30 days. In the event respondent does not comply by the state, a fine in the amount of $25 per day per violation, which would total $75 per day, will be imposed for each day the violations continue past the aforestated date. Respondent is further ordered to contact the code compliance inspector to verify compliance with this order. I'm admitting the case file and PowerPoint as exhibits, and I find the notices properly given in this case. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's the last one. Okay, the last one is Fire 011 2025 2820 Howland Boulevard. Good evening.
Okay. For the record, my name is Lisa Nadeau. I am employed by the City of Deltona as a fire safety inspector. This will be case number Fire-011-2025. The City of Deltona versus Connie Bacardi. The property address is 2820 Howland Boulevard, Deltona, Florida 32725. Parcel ID is 813-039-090-090. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance, Chapter 42, Article 4, Fire Codes, Chapters 42-186, which adopts the most recent edition of the Florida Fire Prevention Code as adopted by the State Fire Marshal. Violations A to C will be listed below in no particular order. Violation A.
May I ask, sorry, quickly before we go, is this the case that was continued last time?
Yes.
It is, okay.
Yeah.
I'll let you finish your presentation. Thank you.
Violation A, NFPA 1, Chapter 11.1.2.2, unless determined to present an imminent danger, existing electrical wiring, fixtures, appliances, and equipment, shall be permitted to be maintained in accordance with the addition of NFPA 70 in effect at the time of the installation in specific, the following portions of the 1990 NEC, National Electrical Code, which was in effect at the time of installation. Article 300-4, where subject to physical damage, conductors shall be adequately protected. Article 300-11, Section A, raceways, cable assemblies, boxes, cabinets, and fittings shall be securely fastened in place. Support wires that do not provide secure support shall not be permitted as the sole support. Violation B has
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
So you're reading from, tell me again, the did you say 1990?
Yes, National Electrical Code.
Okay, and is that anywhere in the case file that I can follow along with you? I'm just it's hard for me to listen to it and digest it at the same time.
I apologize, Your Honor. It's not in the case file, but I did bring the book itself from 1990, courtesy of the State Fire Marshal's Office.
Okay. Got it.
If you want it. I just need it back at the end.
All right. Okay, so I actually do want it. If you could bring it up. It's fine.
So there's little pieces of paper in there that are bookmarked for each section inspector knows going to read.
Okay.
There's writing on one of them that's not relevant.
Okay.
Just notes for myself or something else.
All right, so I'm sorry, can you go, so we're talking about A, and then this is Article, which one?
300-4.
Gotcha, okay.
And it says,
Following along.
I'm sorry. Where subject to physical damage, conductors shall be adequately protected.
Okay.
And
then can we do this one by one, if you don't mind? So the conductors have to be adequately protected, and so what am I looking at here?
So on the bottom of the box there, the round piece, there, it screws into the bottom of the box, but just above between the box and where the screw part is, the wiring is exposed still, the electrical wiring.
All right.
Right there.
Thank you. All right.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, and then Article 300-11, Section A, raceways, cable assemblies, boxes, cabinets, and fittings shall be securely fastened in place. Support wires that do not provide secure support shall not be permitted as the sole support.
And is that related to violation B, or you're saying that's still violation A?
This is still violation A.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. So 300-4 and 300-11.
Yes, Section A.
A. Okay. Those are the provisions of the NFPA in effect at the time that they are in violation of.
Yes, when the building was built. Yep.
All right.
And then violation B has come into compliance prior to this hearing.
Okay.
And violation C has also come into compliance prior to this hearing.
Okay.
The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violations were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. On July 26, 2024, I conducted a fire safety inspection at this location. During the inspection, I observed the above-mentioned violations. I notified the property owner of the violations and given time for compliance. I conducted follow-up inspections on October 3, 2024, November 8, 2024, December 26, 2024, and January 3, 2025, and March 6, 2025, and found that the property was still not in compliance. A site inspection today showed that the above-mentioned violation has not been corrected. The city would like to request 30 days for the property to come into compliance with the remainder of the violations, or a fine of $50 per violation per day until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Okay, but it's only one violation today, correct?
Yes.
All right. And I guess the only other question I have is, you are saying that the 1990 version of the NEC was in effect. How do you know when it was installed?
The property was built, according to the property appraiser, I think on 90, 91.
Okay.
It's connected to an air conditioning unit, Your Honor. We couldn't find any permits or permit records for an air conditioner being added since the building was built originally back in 1990.
Okay, so you went back to the date of the construction of the building?
Yes, ma'am.
Understood. Thank you. And that was on the property appraiser site? Or?
Through our permitting records.
Oh, the city's permitting records. Okay, thank you. Anything else before I make the ruling?
No, ma'am.
All right. I'm going to find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that for violation A, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on April 25th, 2025, which is 30 days. Excuse me. In the event respondent does not comply by the state, a fine in the amount of $50 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. Respondent is further ordered to contact the code compliance inspector to verify compliance with this order. I'm admitting the case file and PowerPoint as exhibits, and I find the notices properly given in this case. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else before we adjourn? No? Okay. We'll go ahead and adjourn. Thank you.